Hey, this is Sully for Anti-Social News Body Count Report for Friday, October the 20th, 2017, and I have a link list for you for some very interesting stories about things that happened on Friday that actually involve people either fighting for or losing their lives around the world, which is why I started the Body Count Report, because I noticed there's a lot of non-substantive news stories where it's about emotion, it's about feelings, and there's no real impact to human life. So I started bugging my friends by asking the question, what's the body count? They would tell me, oh, this protest is so important, and this politician said something that upset people, and I would kind of derail them by asking what the body count was. How many people died from that celebrity being upset? Of course, no one did. It's just a fluff news story that news agencies used to use to fill space, but now it fills a 24-hour news cycle with fluff and opinion and just not actual news stories about people fighting for their lives, which is what really affects the species. So that's why I started doing the Body Count Report a few months ago, and I've done over 50 episodes, and I'm still going. We've watched the rise of the battle against ISIS in the Philippines, and now the defeat of them. That's the first link, is the Malaysian terrorist who funded Maute, the Islamic State allegiant radicals in Lanao del Sur that took over Marawi. The Malaysian terrorist that funded them is killed. So it started out on Monday as Happy Marawi Victory Day there in the Philippines, and it just continues. So good end to Marawi Victory Week in the Philippines. Check that link out. Learn more about Mahmoud, the funder of Maute there. All right, moving on, we have ynetnews.com reporting Khamenei says Iran will shred the nuclear deal if U.S. quits it, which, if anybody knows, there's a lot of power squabbling over Iran's legitimacy. Now, Iran is a huge outsourcer of exporter of terrorism via Hezbollah, but how they try to gain international recognition and legitimacy is through their nuclear energy program, which is a nuclear weapons program, and they don't even really play around. They really they're just trying to do nuclear weapons, and yet for some reason, without them making any concessions, any valid concessions, the Obama administration stepped in to make a deal with them that they kind of laughed at, and yet we still were left with our hand out going, shake my hand please. It was pretty embarrassing. A lot of our allies are going, what are you doing? Like Saudi Arabia and Israel were like, you are embarrassing yourself, United States of America. And now that this administration is saying that they are going to undo parts of the deal, if not the whole deal, Ayatollah Khamenei is going, you can't fire me, I quit. So, which ironically is kind of a Trump thing to do. For example, look at Trump versus NBC. They said we aren't going to, because of the stuff he said, we're not going to renew his show. So he came out with a statement going, nuh-uh, I'm not going to renew my show with them. So Ayatollah Khamenei apparently read The Art of the Deal and is doing a Donald Trump things here, saying if the U.S. quits the nuclear deal, we're going to quit the nuclear deal. Well, obviously, if it's a two-party deal and one party quits, you've already quit the deal. But this is just Iran flexing for the cameras. Long live the Shah. All right. More Middle East news. This is Al Jazeera's intrepid reporting. Report from Altan Kupri, town seized from Kurdish Peshmerga. I like Peshmerga, so a little bit of my opinion in there. This is a really sad situation. This bothers the crap out of me, and I'm going to include a link to this story. There's some video, there's some pictures, and you get the Al Jazeera side of things, which is going to be interesting. They generally have a very subtly veiled bias, and I'm going to include a report from BBC on the profile of the Kurds, so you can learn about exactly who the Kurds are, why Kurdish news is world news, Kurdistan news is world news, which is why, reporting from usnews.com, Netanyahu lobbies world powers to stem Iraqi Kurd setbacks. Now, Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, is standing with the Kurds in their independence, and that's huge. That means something, because they are a controversial ally in the region for predominantly Muslim populations to have, and yet Israel is siding with them and wanting them to have independence, which that means something. That's a big deal, especially if the Kurds like that. And if you see enough pictures of Kurds waving Kurdistan flags and Israel flags, they do. Generally, Kurdistan, people of Iraqi Kurdistan or the Kurdish diaspora in the area. It's not really diaspora. That's their native land there in Turkey, Iran, and surrounding countries. They are the native people of the land. So I guess it's wrong for me to say diaspora, isn't it? Well, point is, it's nice that Israel. I don't know. It's a rough ally to have if you're trying to make nice with your neighbors there, because they don't like Israel. But it's awesome to see predominantly Muslim populations that respect Israel and acknowledge their existence. So yeah, that's where I'm going to end this. Check out the Lighten Up link. I always include a Lighten Up link on the Friday show. And sorry for the short link list and short episode, but as you can see, I'm not in my car as usual. I'm in a very secret, undisclosed location, working on a special project. This has been Sully for antisocialnews.com for the Body Count Report, because human life is precious, and if news doesn't involve actual stuff that affects human life, it isn't really news. So this is Sully. Cheers.